Hey guys, what is up? This is Stephanie, aka the Limitless Babe, reminding you today and every day that you are limitless. So today's topic is something that I think I may have sprinkled here and there in other videos, but it's something that I wanted to dedicate a specific topic to because I think it's important enough to have its own isolated conversation. And this is the concept that when things are going on in our life, I want to encourage you to change your perspective. Instead of viewing things as happening to us, what if we switched that script and said, this is happening for us? It's the smallest change in words, but it's super, super powerful. And so when I say this, I mean absolutely everything that occurs in our life, the good, the bad, although I don't like using terms like that, but it is what it is. The perceived good, the perceived bad, the perceived ugly, the perceived joyful, all of it is part of our plan, of our divine plan. And even the things that aren't part of our and even if you don't believe that, even if you don't believe that there's a divine plan or fate or whatever the case is, you can still believe this because every single choice that we make, every single choice that other people make, every single perceived attack or perceived injustice, I promise you, if you had a crystal ball and could look at the picture, the larger picture down the road, you would see, oh my gosh, if it wasn't for that happening, this wouldn't have happened. If it wasn't for that happening, I would not have grown and developed emotionally or physically or whatever the case is. If it wasn't for that happening, I would have never met this person. Like you just never know what the final outcome is. And I want to encourage you to focus on viewing life as the big picture versus the immediate moment. Because if we stay stuck in the immediate moment, it can be very easy to, as they say, drown in a cup of water. It can be very easy to think catastrophically. It can be very easy to think, poor me, I'm a victim. Why is this happening to me? But if instead we can choose to see the larger spectrum, the larger picture, the larger image of everything, and not even just our life, how our life intersects with someone else's life, then we can calm down, we can relax, we can release this stress and pressure and fear that comes from thinking that these things that are happening in a moment are devastating. I can assure you, none of it is devastating. Well, I can't assure you that none of it is devastating, but I can assure you that most of it is not devastating. I can assure you, as one of my favorite coaches that I've talked about, Sharzad Shukra, has assured me when I've had to talk to her about things, you have survived your worst fears. If you are sitting here today listening to this video, then that is proof alone that you have survived your worst fears. Are you necessarily in the exact place or life situation that you wish? Maybe not. But did you die? Did you survive? Are you still here to fight another day, to grow another day, to continue to live out your journey and find out where that journey unravels? I venture to say, unless you're a ghost, yeah, you probably did, right? So congratulations on surviving all of your worst fears. What are you afraid of moving forward? What could possibly hold you back when you know that you are so divinely protected? When you know that if you believe, then you're going to receive this better. If you don't believe, that's okay. But I encourage you to find a way to change my verbiage to make it fit. But if you know that you are so divinely protected, if you know that your higher power has the ability to change anything that happens to you to happening for you, what would hold you back? What's keeping you from living your best life? What's keeping you from pushing forward and pushing through these limiting beliefs? And what, on the converse, is keeping you stuck? What's keeping you stagnant? What's keeping you unhappy? What's stealing your peace and your joy on a daily basis? So I felt like this was a good opportunity to also kind of share a story with you guys about where I adopted this belief. So yes, I have heard this belief with different coaches and it's true. It's powerful. They say it because it's true. but I've personally experienced that as well. Many years ago, I actually ended up in the hospital. Sorry, I'm trying to listen to if she's laughing or crying. It was laughter, I think. Okay, so I forget what I was saying. We're gonna have to like and figure out what that was. Uh, okay, so I want to share a personal experience of mine of where I truly adopted this belief because yes, I've heard this belief from many coaches and they say it because it's true. But beyond that, I first really started thinking of this and adopting this when I was going through my own life situations. So many years ago, I ended up hospitalized out of nowhere. Um, my I noticed for a few days that I had tingling down my right arm into my fingers. And, for a few days it was annoying, but I didn't think much of it. I have some neck issues that occasionally that will happen, but this was like really bad. And then maybe a few days later, I noticed, oh my gosh, my hand looks a different color. Like I look swollen and it looks a different color. Like I would compare my two and I said, something's not right. The biggest freak out for me, and thank God for this happening, was I looked in the mirror right before I was about to take a shower and I realized I could see very prominently my veins on the right side of my body into my right arm. So that really freaked me out. So I'm very fortunate and blessed to have friends that are in the medical field as well as well, all different avenues of the medical field, I'll just say. So I actually called my best friend, who is a physical therapist, and at her sister, who also does medical massage. I spoke to both of them separately, and they both agreed that I needed to go to the hospital immediately. That was not normal. That was not okay. That was not just something aggravated. That was a more serious issue. And I know they didn't want to scare me, but they just said, go to the hospital. And I'm so grateful that they told me that because when I was there, I found out that I was having a pulmonary embolism and for those of you that don't know, basically I had blood clots that were traveling to my lungs or that I think they were already in my lungs actually. I forgot. Honestly, I am not a doctor, but I just know it was very dangerous. I was pretty much told that I could have had a stroke and I could have died. Very scary, crazy to think about that. I'm living my life fully functional, going to the gym, doing my normal routine. And this could have taken me out if I kept ignoring it. And who knows for how much longer I could have died. Like that's crazy. That's scary to think about. So fast forward, through all of this, I'm like, how did this even happen? I'm very healthy. I'm active. Like I looked up the different causes of what could cause blood clots. And oh, and another word that was thrown around was DVT, I think it's deep vein thrombosis. Again, I am not a doctor. I just know what I was told. I just know it was scary. And I was hospitalized for a few days. But fast forward and now that I'm fine, well, not fine, but now that I'm under control, I'm on blood thinners, we're working on resolving whatever's going on in my system. Obviously now the doctors want to help me figure out, well, how did this happen? What's going on? And between all of the doctors that I saw, all the specialists and myself doing research, no one could figure it out because I didn't meet any of the normal check boxes of what could cause a blood clot. None of it matched up. Absolutely none of it. And so the only thing I could think of, and it's interesting, the first doctor that I brought this to, because I did read articles about like dehydration and possibly stress. Now I'm a fish. I drink water constantly. Is it possible that maybe I didn't drink enough though in that particular week? I don't think so. Given my normal, like I normally drink about 100 ounces of water a day. I don't think so. But the second one was more likely, and it's severe stress. So yeah, I was going through something in that moment that it wasn't like a life-threatening stress, but it was an emotional stress. It was something that brought me a lot of sadness, something that brought me a lot of pain and anticipation. And I was dealing with that, not realizing how much thinking about that was affecting me. And keeping myself in that mindset of, why is this happening? What's going on? And stress and fear and panic. I almost killed myself. There's no other way to put it. And I had to adopt this mindset and remind myself that whatever it is that I'm thinking about, whatever is going on in my life, I have to relax and acknowledge that this is happening for me, not to me. I cannot control what's going on around me. I cannot control how someone else thinks or feels. I cannot control someone else's actions. All I can control is myself. All I can control is whether or not I choose to see things one way or the other and how calm I keep myself. So in many ways, this was a huge blessing because this forced me, literally forced me to calm down and focus on the fact that I cannot control anything outside of me. And I have to believe and trust that if something isn't going the way that I desire it to go, it's for a greater good. And I got to tell you guys, ever since I started thinking that way, and the exact phrase that I would always say whenever something would stress me out, if someone would cancel, like a client would cancel, and that would throw my whole day off, or something broke in the house, or whatever happened, I would really quick remind myself, this is for me, not to me. And it helped flip the switch for me to just trust the process and acknowledge that I am divinely protected. I am safe. I am okay. And I don't want to give you false hope and say that, okay, if you start doing this today, you're always going to feel that way and you're never going to worry and you're never going to stress and everything's going to be peachy. Listen, no, like, we're human, right? This is part of our human experience. It is perfectly normal to ebb and flow out of these things. So yes, like, I had other situations. So I maintained this for a really long time. And I will tell you, if you have a chance, go back and watch my gratitude video. That video was based on what was going on in my life during the time from when I had the blood clots for about the year following. And I saw so many shifts because I had this internal foundation that everything was happening for me and not to me, and I was trusting the process. I was able to completely lean into gratitude and find joy and excitement and blessings in every situation. And I can't tell you how many amazing, beautiful opportunities and things came my way during that time. Now, you guys also know that I talk a lot about toxicity and dealing with difficult situations and difficult people. And I am personally a very sensitive soul. I recognize that about myself. And I don't mean sensitive in the sense that, like, I take offense to things so quickly, but sensitive in the sense that energies, like, I can get drained very quickly. So that's also a lot of times why, if you guys don't see me for a while, I might not necessarily be drained, but I'm proactively preventing the drain by taking care of me. Maybe, my workload is bigger than usual, or maybe I have a little extra work with the baby or whatever is going on in my life. I am very much now self-aware to recognize, okay, I need to pull back, because whether it be from a situation, a person, myself, I am very self-aware of when I need to pull back and just take care of me and just recognize that, okay, like, I'm getting myself overly worked up about something that I have no business being worked up about because somebody's got me. But why I said that is because, again, it's perfectly normal and natural to ebb and flow out of it. And yeah, I've been through situations where I have allowed, and notice I said I have allowed someone or a situation to drain me. And it puts you back in that scarcity mindset, in that fear mindset, in that loss of power, loss of personal power, I would say. And remember, it's all a choice. Everything that we feel every day is always a choice. And you get to decide whether you are going to be that damsel in distress or I don't know a masculine way to say that, but men could be damsels in distresses too. Are you going to be a damsel in distress? You're going to be a victim. Are you going to be waiting for someone to save you? Or are you going to save yourself? Are you going to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and say, this somewhere down the line is going to benefit me? I know it. I trust it. I thank you in advance because this is making me better. This is making my life better. And move forward and remind yourself that everything is happening for you and not to you. Okay. So I thought I was done, but I wanted to add one quick point. I realized that anyone who watched that may have thought, well, wait, but those blood clots, that didn't happen for her. Like, what's the point? That kind of sounds like it happened to her. And I just want to make sure that I point out that actually even that even that situation happened for me, not to me. So before that situation, I definitely know that in my life, I struggled with releasing the need for control. I felt like I needed to control everything around me, everything in my life, everything, you know what I mean? Like we have a lot of trauma wounds that happen from childhood and from different experiences that we go through in life. And for me, for whatever reason, I had this intense need to control everything around me. Not in a bad way, but like in a way that made me feel safe. Security and safety was a big thing for me. And I felt like the positive that came out of this was that I had to hit rock bottom and end up hospitalized for my need and desire to control scenarios in order to be able to learn how to release that and how to trust the process and how to trust God and the universe. And the fact that again, as I said a few times, I am divinely protected. I am abundantly blessed. I am safe. So even that scenario that seemed kind of awful was probably one of the biggest blessings that I could ever have asked for because it really changed the entire trajectory of my mindset and my life. I hope that you guys are finding this helpful. If you aren't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please share this channel with someone that you think could benefit it. With somebody that you think could benefit from it. Thanks for letting me get that out. And I would like to also make a little disclaimer. I know that there seems to be a preconceived notion that my channel is just for women. Guys, it may have started out that way. It may have started out primarily with the intention of focusing on the single mom and her mindset and getting her to her healthiest state so that she can thrive and raise happy, healthy children. But I think that the feedback that I've been getting from a lot of people is that this work that I'm doing, these topics that I discuss are not just topics that women deal with. These are things that men, women, children, adults, everyone alike can definitely benefit from, can definitely grow from. So don't be hesitant. Share my content with someone that you know and love, someone that you think could benefit, someone that's having a hard time. I feel like I would love to be a part of lifting anyone that you know up and helping them to see that they have more personal power than they know, and that they are more in charge of their life than they know, and that no one has the right to take any of that away from them, that they just have to step in with love and say, I got this. I can handle my life, but thank you. So now again, signing off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this empowering. I hope that you found this helpful. This will not be the last time that I talk about this topic because this is definitely a reoccurring thought in my mind. And I definitely have seen multiple scenarios where this has played out. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it and stay limitless. Bye.